Good morning, guys. How are you all? We're having a rainstorm right now. We had a wicked thunderstorm pull through. Owen wouldn't even go out. I tried putting him out and he just balked at the door. And then I tried putting him out after he ate. And he went outside and stood on the deck. That was it. Didn't move. And he hadn't been out since 7 o'clock last night, and it was 6:45. Almost 12 hours. Finally, about 7:30 or so, I walked him outside when the rain kind of let up a little bit. I know the dogs don't like... it's not that they're afraid of the rain and getting wet. It's the sound of it. It's just amplified to them. And I don't like that. So he finally went out and he did pee. Thank goodness, because I don't want him to hold his pee that long. It's not good for him, but it has a little raincoat on him. So talking about dogs, I wanted to talk today a little bit about all the nomads out there that have pets and we travel with them. And what I have with me. And a lot of the stuff I have was from my other two dogs. I lost them. It'll be a year, May 3rd, that I put both of them down the same day. They were 17 and 15. My little Chihuahua Violet was 15, and Elliot, my rat terrier, was almost 17. He had 2 months to go or something. It was time. And so some of the things I had for them, I'm more holistic. I don't run to the vet every time my dog sneezes. And I always fed them a good food. And I did holistic care on them. I took a course years ago for holistic nutrition for dogs, cats, and small animals, and loved it. I learned massage, acupressure, a little bit of acupuncture. I've never tried that though. I really want to be trained in-house by someone. But the acupressure and acupressure and massage, and I also read up a lot on Reiki, which I used with Elliot over the past couple of years before he passed. And I believe that helped him a lot. He had arthritis in his hips, and I think that made him feel better. And I could see they like the sessions that you do. It's either hands-on or hands-off. It's just, how do I explain it? I just had a brain fart. Okay. Look up Reiki. Reiki, I think that's how you spell it. Do you see that white thing? Just, my house is full of dust and hair, and I can't stand it. But anyway, I thought I would just go over what I have for me and what I keep in my truck and in my first aid kit. Some of the stuff's down in the truck, which is way down the other side of the property. Can you hear the rain? We had hail too. Well, luckily not big hail like we've had before. But yeah. And also what I keep for grooming supplies, since Owen is a longer hair dog. He's a miniature American Shepherd. And he doesn't really have clothes like I used to have for my other two dogs. But he has 2 winter coats and a rain jacket. And that's about it. And some booties. And I'll go over that in a little bit. All right, guys? Okay, my plan was to do this video outside on the back of my truck. I should have done it yesterday when the weather was beautiful, but I didn't sleep the night before. I didn't get to sleep. Well, I slept for like maybe not even 2 hours. I was up till at least after 4 a.m. I don't know why, just wide awake. So the lighting is bad. I apologize for that. I only have one LED light in here. I do need to buy a new one. So I set everything up here. This is just my medical stuff. Oh, I don't have my first aid kit. Damn it. All right, I'm going to have to run down after I do this and get that. Okay, let's start off with some of these things, like all this stuff here I had for my other two dogs, my older seniors. Violet had 2 hematomas on her ears. It's when you hit an ear and blood collects inside. You know, the veins burst and get a giant hematoma. And she did one when I was in Pahrump, Nevada. It's the first time she did it. No, the second time. The first time she ran into a curb after she had accidentally got kicked in the head, and the next morning went out and she walked into the curb. And the second time was in Pahrump. She walked into my stabilizer on the trailer, and so I have some stuff, ear stuff for her, because she always, then after that they cauliflowered, which means the ear just curls up, looks like cauliflower, and so the air wasn't getting in there, so she ended up having to have, she never got infections, but she got smelly ears and just gooey. So I have some ear powder and stuff like that. And the stuff that I helped heal her ear with. Because the first time I took her to the vet, it was, I think it was over over $100. And the vet said, oh, she's going to have to come back and have it redrained. Oh, no, I'm not keep coming back to have it redrained. And so I did a lot of research in Europeans, what they used, and this is what I did, and cleared her ear up. So let's get started. Let's see. Well, I guess we'll start with the ear. I used bentonite clay. Make a paste, put it on the cauliflowered ear, and wrap it up. Keep it wrapped up. I think it was 2 weeks. I checked it once a week, and this stuff worked. I also have African shea butter. You can put this on dogs' paws. And if you mix it with, you can make a salve. Yeah, I think that's what you say it. With some coconut oil or beeswax. And put a thin coating on and really, really massage it in, especially if your dog is one that likes to lick his paws. And I read that it's best if they are lickers to put it on, you know, a thin coat and really massage it in right before they eat. That way, if they do lick it off, then they have some food in their belly with it. Okay, let's move on. Ear stuff. I have a dry ear powder and a, oops, got dog hair on it. I'm telling you. This is just an ear wash and ear cleaner. This worked great with Violet. She liked it after it went in because you put a few drops in and you just massage it in there. And she would shake her head and fly out. So I always made sure she went outside after I did this. But these are things that I'm keeping just in case Owen, he has hairy ears. Just in case he gets some dirt and debris in there. It's just best to have on him. I wasn't going to throw it out because they're still full. And the second time Violet had a hematoma, the vet gave her, it cost me over $300. It was insane. He didn't even drain it. And it was a smaller hematoma. But I'm reading the bill before she came out, because this vet took her and put her in the back. The first vet I went to in Colorado, I was able to stay right there with her. She drained it and wrapped it up. He just put this 4-inch piece of tape and it was $34. I have the receipt still. I was appalled. And I will never go back to that vet. And so he gave her antibiotic and a steroid. And the next day, she woke up and her whole one side of her mammary glands were swollen. And sometimes that happens in prednisone. So I took her off that, and at the time Elliot had a bad tooth, so I just gave him the steroid, which helped greatly. And when I got to Texas, they had their dental done. So I ran to the store. They didn't have any stuff for dogs, but we used to use this when I worked at a pet shop. Yes, I worked at a pet shop many years ago. Calm down. Would never do it again. Didn't know anything about puppy mills at the time. I just thought they were good places. No, they're not. So I got the cat one. This is Nutra Vet. It's a multivitamin paste. It's very high calorie, and she was horrible. I wasn't going to take her back to the vet and spend another $300. But because she was just so uncomfortable, and having the ear thing and then having her whole one side, it looked like she just had a litter of puppies. She wasn't eating. So I made sure that she had some calories in her, and so I have a cat, so I'm keeping this. I don't know how, God, that was like 4 years ago, but I'm still keeping it. I also have, during lockdown, my friend Dee gave me Lysol, and we took Elliot. Where did he take him? He was in the truck for some reason, and after he got out, I went grocery shopping. That was what it was, and I would spray the truck with Lysol, which I don't use those chemicals. I do not use them. I don't use Clorox. I don't use I use everything holistic, vinegar and water. That's my go-to. But I used the Lysol spray and sprayed the back seat of my truck. Well, then I took Elliot somewhere with me, and the next morning, his whole underside was nothing but horrible sores. I thought he had some sort of fungus. And so I got this 3-way ointment. It helps soothe his stuff, and then I realized it was the Lysol. He had an allergic reaction to it. So please don't use Lysol chemicals near your dogs. So I'm keeping this. There's a little bit left. Owen just had, playing fetch, he got into, I think, a cactus out here and had a little sore. He still has a bump. I can't get it off. I'm a picker. So this helped his little nose. And what do I have here? Oh, I don't use flea and tick prevention. My dogs and cats don't have fleas. Owen brought one home 2 years ago or last year when I was here. I took him to Tractor Supply, and the place is dirty just like it was this year. There's a video about that. The next morning there was a flea on me. And that night there was a flea on me after we got home from giving him a bath. And I couldn't find it. And I'm freaking out all night. So next morning I find it again. I finally killed it. I went nuts. And I had this because when I went to Maryland many years ago, my girlfriend had fleas. And this is plant-based. I believe it's plant-based. It's only natural pet. It uses botanical powers of geranol and peppermint oil. It's just a powder. You can use it on your pets and around your house. Now, mind you, fleas don't live in an animal. They're a host animal. Fleas are only on your pet about 5% of the time. They feed, they get off. That's what those little black things are. They're not eggs. That's dried up blood. And they live in your environment. And the female flea has the ability to hold off on her eggs for, I think, a month or so, until the environment's right. And then she'll lay her eggs. I mean, come on. Think about it. These little pesky bugs have been around since the dinosaur age. Nothing kills them. Dawn dish soap doesn't kill them. They create a bubble when they get wet around them. So this works well. I'm holding on to this too, even though it's many years old. Is there a date on it? No. But it's just a powder. And Sean, the maintenance man I used to work with, he bought this last year for Izzy, hoping that it would help keep mosquitoes away, because it's for fleas, flea eggs, ticks, and mosquitoes. But it's another natural product, and he knows that. That's what I like. This one has peppermint oil and eugenol. No idea what that is. No idea what that is. Sodium lauryl sulfate. Water sodium benzoate. This is for, I used this yesterday. There's these little orange ants. That's what they look like. And they're on my wheel well. And they only come out when it's really warm out. And late afternoon when it's real hot out, they go away. But I found a couple on right here next to my bed. And I found two on me on my bed. They were coming in yesterday. I had the back doors open. So I dug this out and I sprayed, and now they're gone. So I'm holding on to this. I think he got this at Walmart, I believe, or Tractor Supply. And I have antibiotics. These came from Mexico. This is just doxycycline. I used this when Elliot had imperump. A friend of mine gave me, because his tooth was bad. Oh, it was bad. It was swollen. And I just could not, after the stint with Violet at the vet with over $300, I couldn't imagine what a dental would be. So she gave me 3 boxes. I have 2 boxes. I have this one left. And then when Sean went to Mexico last year, he picked me up another box. And also, these are human grade. We can take these, you know. But these held Elliot's infection. They got rid of his infection. And when I left Pahrump, I ended up going to Texas and found a great vet here. Dr. Burnham, if you're in Palo Pinto area, Dr. Burnham, great. He's a farm vet. He's a dog vet, and a small animal vet too. He did both of my dog's dentals. And it came to, I don't even think $300. So when no one needs his teeth cleaned, I'm coming back here to Texas to get them done. Also, I give my animals their own immunizations, and I do not over-vaccinate. Oh, and I'm having a big issue with, since he's my service dog, I want to keep him up to date on it, but I know, well, I don't know for sure, I'm not a scientist. We over-vaccinate our children, we over-vaccinate our dogs. And if you are a pro-vaccinator, I'm sorry, this is my opinion. But Tractor Supply sells, this is the Canine Spectra 10. It has everything you need in it. Parainfluenza, coronavirus, canine distemper, leptospiro. Yeah, it's lepto. And it's very easy to give. And this only costs, I just had the receipt. They're not expensive at all. You get 1 vial that has the powder in it, and you get the other liquid. And it comes with, comes with your syringe, and it's very easy to do. You just stick it in, right in the top here. Stick it in, pull it back, pull out your liquid. Stick it in the dry powder one. Squeeze it up. Shake it really, really well. Pull your needle back. kind of out down to the neck. And then you just load your syringe. And once you're loaded, let some of the air out. And then I put it behind the neck, around the shoulder bones. I lift it up. I was a vet tech, and they taught me how to do a V. You lift up the skin and just stick it in. And there you go. It's really easy. And then it comes your... I save the syringe in case I ever need it for something. They come with a label on it. And I always keep my labels. I have a folder with... I don't have any medical records on Gideon because he's an indoor cat. He's only ever been to the vet once when he was spayed. No, he was neutered. I'm sorry, he's a boy. But I have Owen's records from the breeder. Look at that. More. It's spring and everybody's shedding. So it comes with these stickers. Each bottle gets 2 stickers, or 1 sticker on each bottle. So it takes them off. It tells you the date. I believe the lot number's on here. And it tells you what it is. So I save these. This is his breeding stuff from what the breeder gave him. And I keep that. Here are his neuter records, his rabies records. Oh, here's the receipt for, let's see what that cost me a year ago. It's $21.99 for this. Sure beats going to the vet, right? So I keep all that in this little folder here. So that's about, oh, I also have a dropper in case I have to give liquid medication. This one comes with goes up to 1 millimeter and it's marked. Oh, okay, what do we got here? Oh, I brew my own kombucha. These are SCOBYs. This is my SCOBY hotel. Let me get a spoon. Hold on. SCOBY stands for Symbiotic Colony of Yeast and Bacteria. Yeah, let's start that over. Symbiotic Colony of Bacteria and Yeast. And this is how kombucha is made. And it grows these SCOBYs. And it's, my hands aren't clean. You never want to use metal in your hotel. You always want to use a wooden spoon. But you can pull these apart. They're different layers. And some of them have, this is yeast. Healthy bacteria. And this is so good for your dog's gut. It's good for their skin. I put it in their water. Hold on. Put like 2 teaspoons in their water, depending on how big your dogs are. I had a Chihuahua and a Rat Terrier. They were 12 and 6 pounds, or 4 pounds. Yeah. And I used about 2 teaspoons in the water and change it every day. You can put up to 1 to 2 teaspoons on your dog's food. It gives them, like it does us, beneficial bacteria for our gut. This is great. And I use this stuff on abrasions, scrapes, burns. I wouldn't recommend that for dogs. And it's also great. You can dehydrate these. Like my oven here is a dehydrator, and I've never done it yet. We're going to have to do that, Owen. You can dehydrate them and make a chew toy. We're going to have to do that. Spread some peanut butter on it when it's dried up. I've also used them in the garden. It's just the SCOBY part that I've used in the garden, and that's the part you dry out. You can't see it. There's a whole bunch of yeast right there. They're all messed up. Usually they grow in a circle around your jar, and it's all layers. But I just transferred them to this big jar, and you feed them a very sugary, strong black tea. And so I did that and put them in this jar, so now the SCOBYs are all messed up. Hold on a minute. Be right back. Okay, these are my grooming supplies I have, mostly for Owen. Gideon really doesn't have much. He gets brushed out with a slicker brush every now and again, when he lets me, because he's a cat. And Owen's a miniature American Shepherd, like an Aussie. A lot of people shave them. I will never shave Owen. He has beautiful hair, but he's a double-coated dog. He has that thick wool underneath, which is what you see around my house sometimes. Those hairballs, and yeah, it's just gross, right, Owen? White shirt. I'm always having black hairs on me, but I'll show you what I have here. Let's start off with, I have I bought this stuff for Ellie and Violet years ago. It's from the Sammy Soap. They're I guess a family-owned business. It's an all-natural soap. This one is Candula. Candula. And this is the one I used mostly because it smelled like, I think it was cedar. Cedar or pine, something. It just smells wonderful. So I use this on them. I also have some dog wipes. Like if we're at a truck stop for the night or something, you know, you never know what's on the ground in the parking lots. Trucker pee, just goo and garbage and just nasty enough. So I wipe Owen's paws off with these. I got these at Home Goods for $1. They were on clearance. These work great. What else do we have here? So as far as grooming, I will brush him out with a slicker brush. I need to get a little bit bigger one here, but this is what I had. This is a de-shedding comb. This is called the Furminator. Be careful with these. They can be pretty sharp and they can scrape your dog. So just be careful. You kind of pull the hair back and just get in and get the under layer of coat out. Then it has a little button that gets the hair off, releases the hair. So these are great. They're expensive. They do have some knockoffs. Nail clippers. Always clip your dog's nails. This is my grooming bag for my supplies, my tools. Oh, I have scissors, nail clippers for Gideon. So this comes with a metal comb. And I have straight shears, curved shears, and thinning shears. I use the thinning shears on Owen's butt. I used to be a groomer for a long time. Well, I was not a groomer because I didn't do a lot of shaving, and you know, like poodle cuts and stuff like that. I was a professional bather. Okay, I did Goldens. I did dogs like Owen. So I didn't really go in with the clippers and do all that kind of work, but I do have clippers for Owen. Clip up his butt. These are cheap ones. They don't work anymore. I mean, they work, but they don't work on him. I need a good pair. And what else do we have here? Oh, poop bags. Please, people, pick up your dog's poop. You know, if you can't afford bags, then get some produce bags from the store. But don't leave it out there. What if your dog had parasites? And my dog comes up behind yours after it went to the bathroom. You know, we don't want our dogs sick. We want our dogs to be healthy, to live a long, happy, healthy life. Just clean up after your pet. And we have collars here. This is a 15-foot long line. These are a great training tool. You can teach your dog to sit, stay, walk away 15 feet, and you still have control of your dog. And a down stay, these are just great. Teach them boundaries in your yard. And when I raised C&I puppies, we would take them to the sidewalk right before the curb, and you know, have that little grassy spot between the sidewalk and the curb, and they knew enough they can only go to the sidewalk, and we use long lines for that. And so once they were able to be off leash, they knew where their boundaries were in the yard. So these are great. You can get these I got this on a Tractor Supply. Amazon has them. They're everywhere. My dogs are always in a seatbelt. Got this off Amazon. It came in a 2-pack. This clips into the seatbelt and clips onto their collar. You don't ever, I mean, if you're ever in a car accident, God forbid, knock on wood, and you have pets, and they're not in a seatbelt, well, that pet can get loose. And what happens on a busy highway? You don't want to see your dog get hit. You don't want lost. You don't want someone to take it. I read a story, I mean, several stories I've read, but I see all the time being on the road. People in their Class A's, you know, the motorhomes, and their dog is sleeping on the dashboard, or their cat. And there was one elderly couple back east in the, I think it was Appalachian Mountains. Their Class A went off the road, down to a ditch, and before it left the road, I think it was hit. I think that's what happened. They got hit head on, and made the rig veer off the road. Well, the window smashed out, and they had 2 dogs sitting on the dashboard. One went out the window and was run over by them, and the other one was thrown out when it went down the hill. And I don't know if they ever found that dog. There were 2 little dogs. There was another one, a lab, that got loose in a Class A that was never found. It's scary. I would rather have my dog safe. And my cat rides in his kennel, and he also rides with his leash on. Well, actually, I have that's his leash I take him to the truck with. This one got a knot in it. But this is a elastic one. I just put it on him. I pull this through. I wrap it around I wrap it around the door so the door doesn't open. And this is what he's in his crate. And his crate is seat belted into the back seat of my truck. Now I know some people, well, what if the truck gets cracked? Well, at least my animal's still safe inside my truck. So this is my opinion, okay? This is how I treat my animals. Here's a choker. No, this one wasn't Owen's, but I've always started my animals off in chokers. And this is, a lot of people don't know how to use a choker properly. See these two rings, right? You put one through, and it's going to create a P if you laid it down, right? Well, the P would be this way. If you laid it down, right? So see how this chain comes up through the top of that loop. And if you put it on your dog's always on your left side. That's how you train a dog, on your left side. And you pull, this releases. See? It comes over the top of the dog's neck through that circle. If you put it on this way, where it comes underneath, and you pull, it doesn't release. You want it as a quick jerk, just quick, and you want it up high on their neck, not down where it's going to hit their esophagus, because that can cause damage when the dog is pulling really hard. You want them to learn that it's just a quick little jerk, especially when you're making them heel. Just a hit, and it releases, so it's not choking them. That's another training aid there. But be careful, because a lot of people, their dogs just tend to pull. And if you put a choker on, it's going to slip. It always slips down. That's just gravity. It slips down. But once the dog learns to heel, it's up here. Especially if you ever watch a dog show and they have thin leashes. They have thin leashes like this. And there's no hook on them. It's just a little loop that you put on your dog in the show ring. Just like this. The same thing. It goes like that. And it goes up behind the dog's head. Up there. And that's how we show dogs. And it keeps their head up. It keeps them, erect, looking pretty. And we just run around the ring with them. We do our tea. And come back in front of the judges. And my kids show dogs. What else do we have here? Oh. Booties. These are great. Oh, my daughter's calling me. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. My daughter calls me every morning on her way to work, which I think is great. She has no idea what that means to me. All right, where was I? I figured it was the last thing I talked about. I have these collars I bought, especially for Violet and Elliot, my seniors. They light up. I don't know if this one still works. Nope. They strobe, they light up. They have like 4 settings. This little thing here. And they have the little round batteries. So I kept this one for Owen. I had bought all of them one. And I have booties for Owen. I have 2 different kinds. I bought these. A lot of this stuff came from thrift stores. My Furminator came from a thrift store. My nail clippers. This water bag. These booties. This was a cheaper pair. These ones are all right. They don't fall off. Well, I don't think these ever fell off. But I found these. These are Mutlux. Mutlux. I found these in Fruita, Colorado at a thrift store for $8. This is the sizing chart. A lady lived in Canada and started making these for her Basset Hounds. And now they're a big company. But these don't come off. These are the original ones. And they have like the sock part and the reflective strip, which came off on one of them because it's just glued on. They should be sewn on. It's just a little Velcro. And has a little sock part that goes up the foot. Owen loves these. He wore them in New Mexico last year and up in Colorado in the snow. When it's cold out, I put them on him too so his feet don't get cold. They have a little toe scuff. It's like a nylon type canvas. They have like a leathery sole. I love these. I looked them up just before. They were started $66 to $77 for the original ones on Chewy. And I saw some smaller ones that only are about this big. They're called trail runners or something. It's just a little booty. So it doesn't have the little sock part. And they were $17. So I don't know how well, if they'll stay on or not. You want a booty like that that's going to stay on their foot. I don't know how many times I had a little collection of them. Being the camp host up in Colorado for a couple years, people would bring them to me, or I would find them on my little table at my site in the morning. And the maintenance man, Sean, brought me two. So I kept one. I think I have one in the first aid kit, just in case, say, Owen cut himself or something, or somebody else's dog had cut their paw, and it just holds the bandage on. What else do I have here? Oh, I have Gideon's. Well, this was for Violet. It's a cone. It's a fabric cone. But I kept this for Gideon, my cat, in case I ever needed to put a cone on him for some odd reason. Where are we now? Oh, right here. In my truck, I always have water. Always. And I have more than one of these water bottles. I found this at the thrift shop, too, the same day I got those booties. This was a fabric water bowl. I just found this online because my daughter's boyfriend said, tell your mother that's a chalk bag for like weightlifting and stuff. Now, this one is actually a water bowl, and it just folds down. I keep it in my thing between the seats. So you always want something that they can drink out of. It's also a food bowl. Oops, sorry. So let's move on over here. My first aid kit. We'll get to that in a minute. Your dogs need, especially when we live in small spaces, like cognitive toys. Yesterday I put apple slices in this, and Owen looked at me like, woman, have you lost your mind? I can't get them out. He didn't know enough that he would have to bite it. And it was funny to watch him. It took him a good while. He kept picking it up, kind of putting his mouth on it, but he couldn't get the apple slices out until he realized that he had to bite it. So this is a great toy. I bought it for him to play fetch, but now I'm going to put more apple slices in it when I usually give him something to chew on when I'm not home. And I have several different Kongs. I like the ones with little nubbies. It helps clean his teeth. This used to be Elliot's. And I have this little fire hydrant one. It has a bunch of little knobbies on it. Put peanut butter or apples in there, carrots. And this I just bought. This came with this at Five Below. Don't forget about Five Below pet section. I don't like the fact, I wish they were more rubbery. This one's more plastic. But I'll smush bananas in this. And this kind of opens up in there, and I'll smush bananas in there. And this keeps him busy for quite a while. And I put peanut butter on that. I didn't think he'd like this. This is one of his favorite toys right now. It has all these little nubbies on it to help clean his teeth. He loves that. So remember, don't just get a ball for them. Get some of these interactive toys, like these kind. But I had interactive toys for him when he was a puppy. Those big plastic things that you put treats in or dog food, and they open the little doors and slide little things. He liked them. And then he knew what to do, and he was done with it within like 10 seconds. He was finished. All right, let me get set up over here for my first aid kit. Since I don't have small dogs anymore to dress up, Owen does have a couple pieces of clothing. One is this nice harness. I wouldn't call this clothing, but found this at a yard sale for $10. It was brand new. It's a Kong. The Kongs. Has metal clasps. This is a really nice harness. And it has a handle on it. This saved him. 2 years ago when Owen was just a year old, we went to Tractor Supply to buy dog food. And I'm walking. When I pulled in, I saw a flatbed pickup with 5 dogs on the back of it. Just loose. It's a farm dog. Farm truck. Farm dogs. That's what they do. Right? So I went in. I had like 5 cans of dog food. And I had a big 30-pound bag of dog food in my other arm. And I had this on Owen. Owen's on my left side. And I'm walking out. And next thing I see out of the corner of my eye, those 5 dogs jump off that truck. And I was about 3 car spots from where he was parked. And they come running after Owen. I grabbed this handle and I flung Owen behind me as the bigger main dog had lunged at Owen and grabbed the back of, right up above his tail by his hip, and scraped him. I didn't know that he had been bit until after we got back to the campground, because it was during the summer when I was working. And the lady coming up behind me was screaming, something you never do when there's a dog issue. It just amps them up and could have made things worse had I not known what to do and this handle was on there. Because if I had just had him on his collar with a leash and it would have been harder for me to pull him behind me. So I got between that pack of dogs and my dog. And if that dog had gotten to Owen, Owen would have probably fought back, which would have amped up the other 4 dogs, and it could have ended very badly. And as she started to scream, I just dropped my cans of dog food and my bag of dog food. And when it hit, made noise, and it scared the dogs, and they all ran back and jumped on the back of the truck. So always, if you get a harness, get one with a handle. It's very easy, especially if you have a small dog that you can lift up. I've had to pick Violet and Elliot up before when a big fat chihuahua came out when I lived in the condos and came to had to go after my dogs. So I quickly flung them. They were just on leashes, but they were light enough. Just flung them up and grabbed them. Owen has a raincoat. Yes, he's a pampered pup. This is from Puddle Pup. It's just a little raincoat, another thrift store find. Has a little hood on it. Since he has long hair, and I don't have his crate in here anymore, of course, where's he going to go? On my bed. And my bed's going to smell like wet dog. So he's got a raincoat. And he has, my daughter gave me this. This was for her dog. This is a nice jacket, too, from Reddy. It zips up the back. This is just his cold weather coat. And since we're in the mountains, 4 or 5 months out of the year, this helps. And I have his all-weather coat. This one is from Barkley and Finn. I found this at a thrift store. No, I found this at a yard sale when I picked up my pink chair. Nothing was marked. She goes, give me a price. I said $10 for both. She said, sure. It has a loop here to go on the collar through the hood. It has a hood. So this is just his all-weather coat when I usually put this on him when it's snowing out and it's really cold. All right, let's get to my first aid kit. Okay, I didn't realize my video was already at 37 minutes, so I won't go through everything in here. It just has all your typical stuff, an up-to-date EpiPen, an up-to-date inhaler. This is the booty I was talking about in case Owen cut himself on his paw or somebody else's dog. I have to keep a bandage on. That'll work great. Just some pharmaceuticals, Benadryl, eye drops. A lot of this stuff was for my Chihuahua for her eyes. She has very bad allergies here in Texas. Yeah, that's about it. It's all kinds of just normal stuff in your first aid kit. All right, guys. I'll let this go because it's getting way too long. Thank you.